right. Hey, what's up, Lance? What's going on, brother?
Yes,
My
sir.
brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
What's going
We
on,
played a
man?
little bit
How
of
you?
phone tag, but we here.
We here. We here, man.
We,
Definitely, man. I appreciate you reaching out, man.
that's what's up, my brother. That's my you are the epitome of triple threat, bro. You the original, the founder, the CEO of triple threat, bro. Like I could just remember, coming up, man. Like that was one of the things you was always animate about was every aspect of the game, man. And I see how that kind of like transpired until you create a triple threat.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Absolutely, man. My mindset was you always want to be multifaceted, man. You want to be able to do more than one thing in life because if one aspect is taken away, then you've done. You know what I'm saying? And
Right,
and I never wanted it to be that way. I wanted it to be no matter what door they close off, I can open up another one or make my own door. So,
right.
I just incorporated that into my life, into my game, everything that I did, throughout my life, that was my philosophy. So,
All right. All right. I'm gonna take it back just a little bit. I mean, I know I jumped right into it, man. I'm excited to have you on here, but I'm gonna take it back just a little bit, and I'm gonna take it back to when we first met, man. I was a freshman. I went to Maple down the hill in Newark. I went to Maple Avenue. I graduated from Maple Avenue. My mother wouldn't let me go to Shabazz, so I had to go to Urban High. I went to Urban High, one of the first people that embraced me. And I didn't even know you played basketball. Like honestly, you embraced me as a friend first, and then I just happened to go to a game, and then I saw you out there just murdering everything. I said, "Yo, that's my man from Woodshop. We had Woodshop together. We had
yes,
Scott,
sir.
yeah, and automotive, man. But ever since then, man, we always been tight. We kind of lost touch over the years, but I've been following you and Triple Threat. I love it and everything. But let's take it back a little bit to the Urban and High days, man. I mean,
Oh,
you
man.
man, there was some good days.
Absolutely, man. Listen, I can't help but smile when I think about us at Irvington, man. That was a great time in our lives, man. Being young, discovering life, man, becoming young
Yes,
men, and being around just good-hearted, individuals, man. Like, I sit and I think about it a lot, man. And we had a lot of good people around us, man. People go
right.
they own paths. They have to take their own paths and their own journeys in life. But I can honestly say we were around a lot of great dudes and females. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of great people around
Yeah,
us, man. And, that don't it doesn't always happen that way, man. So I'm very grateful, for yourself and a lot of the people that came across our lives, man. Because I think everybody that you meet and that you hold near and dear to you, um, they play a important role, a vital role in who you grow up to be, who you become. So.
right.
Um, and you, man, like, I just think back to, young Gordy, man, just, I'm gonna tell you something, man. With you, it was crazy because your smile was infectious, man.
All
So,
right.
like, you always had that bright smile, man. And I always loved that about you, man. So, that was, before anything, that was what I noticed about you. And I was like, I like him, man. He good
Yeah,
hearted dude, man. And, and we just had a natural chemistry from there, man.
we did.
You
We
know.
did. Even going back to well, I kind of see where if I look back, I can see where how you want to impact the community, like even the PAL days. You know what I mean? Those
Hmm.
traveling teams you was on. The purple team, the
Yeah.
Mavericks were crazy.
Yes, sir.
Keeney,
Yep.
Andre Gaddy, Mo Stirred, they was
Yep.
insane. But that
Yep.
traveling team was really great too, and y'all brought it back home, man. But I can see how just being in that atmosphere, I can see that community service was going to be is it was the league or the people. You know what I
That's a
mean?
fact.
So yeah, man. So if you want to talk about a little bit more about about how Triple Threat started, more on the side of I'm doing my credit thing now, so could you go in a little bit on the setting of the corporation and like how you kind of like I want to take the conversation there a little bit because I know people be having great ideas, but they never know how to go about getting an LLC or getting corporations or even going to the state or government.
No doubt, no doubt, and that, and that's a great question. Um, Actually, probably the summer of like 87, 88 ish, around there. I used to get up early in the morning, go to Velsburg Park, get my work in. Me and all my guys. You know what I'm saying. Me, Kiwan, Keyshawn, all of us. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. We used to get up, Torn, all of us. We used to get up and get to it. And everybody used to always spend the night at my crib or whatever. So I remember one morning I got up and I was sitting there and I was just, doodling a little bit, and because I had the idea of a clothing brand. I didn't know what it was going to be. I didn't know what I wanted it to be, but I wanted it to be something that represented us. Like I always had that vision about us and our people. And so I was like, you go out, you go shopping or whatever, and let's say we go buy a pair of shorts or something. The shorts may be nice, but they didn't fit us the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the inseam may be too tight or whatever. And I was like,
Right.
man, we got to get something that fits us. Like, so that's where, I originally got the idea. So then it was just coming up with, I guess, designs and different stuff like that. So I remember sitting there and I was like, Nike got their logo, Reebok, Fila, like everybody had, Adidas, everybody had their own logo. So I was like, well, first let me come up with a logo. So I was messing around with a logo, sketching and stuff, and I had this real animated, muscle bound guy. It was in a triple threat form, but it was
Right.
muscular and this and that, and I was like, nah, that's too much. I don't really want it to be that. I was like, because the triple threat position is the simplest position in basketball, but it's the most deadliest. So I was like, that's what I want. I want simple, but deadly. And so I started taking away. So I took the face out. I took the
Mm-hmm.
hands wrapped around the ball. I took that out, took the feet and the sneakers off, all of that. And eventually I came up with what we know today as that logo. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And, like I said, triple threat, I had already kind of had that name lined up. So everything just kind of fit together. And then once I did that, it was just time to put it into production. So, my pops used to be like, yo, man, that's tough. Like we need to produce that, and get it made to because in them days, Gordy, we was going everywhere traveling. Any park they
Right.
said they was balling at or whatever, we was there. So my pops was like, hey yo, why don't you get some stuff done, and when y'all go to other parks and y'all go represent where y'all from and y'all brand. And I was like, oh, that's what's up. And one of his main mans is Olaf. If you remember Olaf, everybody's wearing the
Yep.
Olaf shorts and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
so Mr. Olaf and my dad was real tight. So he was like, all right, I'm gonna take you over to my guy and we're gonna start getting stuff printed up. So that's when we started getting printed up and doing all that. So I watched the vision start to become a reality. And fast forward a few years later, when we was graduating and going off to college, when I went to a junior college, Southern Idaho, a good friend of
Mm-hmm.
mine out there named Keith Davis, shout out my man Keith. He was a business guy, straight business guy, and I was a business major. And he was like, yo, that gear fire, like I like it. And I was like, yeah, a little something, we doing. He was like, well, how far are you willing to go with it? And at that point, I wasn't really thinking on a mega business level. It was just something for me and the homies.
Right.
And he was like, nah, he said, nah, you got something else. That's next level. He was like, nah, we got to do something with that. So he was from Cali. He was from LA. So he said, this is what I'm going to do. 1 weekend, we going to go home. I'm going to get you, we going to register you as an official business.
Mm.
And I was like, okay. Like, so he's walking me through the steps. He actually took me to California. That was actually where I first registered Triple Threat in Cali.
Yeah.
And, got my LLC out there. And, from there, now I know the steps in the process. So, when I came home, I did the same thing here in Jersey. And, we just kind of started rocking and rolling from there. Fast forward some years after that, because like you said, I was always about community, about kids and, bringing everybody together. So my ideas were always to do things that encompass that. So I wanted to add a nonprofit to it. You know what I'm saying? So I incorporated it that way. Got a 501c3, and that opened up a lot of doors for me to deal with a lot of corporations and um, because they could help. I would talk to different companies and they would say, "Well, do you have your 501c3?" And I was like, "Nah, what is that?" And it was like, "Well, that's a
Mm-hmm.
nonprofit status. I love your vision and I want to donate, but we can't just give it to you. So, in order for them to enjoy the
Right.
tax breaks, we would have to be official, in that capacity. So, it was a lot of learning,
Right.
man. And so I got the paperwork done. I went to it's a lot of companies, that do tax stuff and paperwork and all that. And they wanted tons of money to get it done. And I was like, man, that's a lot of money, back then. $4,000 or $5,000
Right.
here, some 10, 15, some wanted like and all of that. And I was like, nah, we ain't doing that. So one day I said, let me
Right.
download the paperwork. So I downloaded the paperwork. Gordy, when I tell you it looked like a law book, it was so thick. And I was like, man, that's a whole lot
I
of
know.
it's a whole lot of paper. And I was like, man, I ain't gonna mess with that. So I procrastinated on it for about 2, 3 days. And I said, you know what? One of the things our people always do when it's a little obstacle, we flush the idea and we walk
Mm-hmm.
away. And I was like, I'm not that. I ain't never been that guy. So you know what? I said, I know what I'm gonna do. I set my
Right.
alarm. I got up about 5 in the morning one morning, and I said, I'm gonna tackle this paperwork. I said, by the end of the day, I'm gonna have all this done. So we gonna get to it now. Like so, I was in basketball mode. I was in like, yo, this a competitor.
Right.
This is a defender. I'm about to torch him. So we about to get to it. So I sat there, man. Got all my stuff together, and I'm going through the paperwork. Show you how God works, man. God is good all the time. Show you how God works. So I picked up
All
this
right.
old super thick stack of papers, and I started going through it. So I get to about page 2 or 3 or whatever, and it says if you uh if you're doing this and this, cut to page 344. So I fell in that category. So I was able to take that much of the book because it didn't apply to me and throw it out. And then I
Okay.
only had to do that much. And I said, see, that's what happens. We see something and we get discouraged and we go the other way. But if you stick to it, you never know, how it may work out for you. So I finished up that little bit of it and sent the paperwork in. And it wasn't hard, but it was tedious and everything had to be meticulously correct. Like if this was off and you sent
Right.
it in with that bread, they keep your bread, but they'll tell you, oh, nah, that was wrong. You got to do it again and repay. So I had to make sure everything was right.
Yep.
Got that done, sent it in. When they sent me the paperwork back saying, man, you done, you qualified, congrats. I was like, okay, that's what's up. We
It's
just
official.
kind of been rocking and rolling. Yeah, it's official, man. So we've been rocking and rolling ever since, man.
And that's what's up, man. No better story than from a leader of young men to always persevere. I mean that you right. Sometimes we just give up and turn the other way, and just that much, little bit more digging, and you'll be right there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's like me when I got mine together. My father actually has a 501c3, and he passed away, and he made me president of it. So
Wow.
so now
And sorry to
I
hear that,
understand
man.
why he did it, huh?
Yeah, I said, I'm sorry I didn't cut you off. I said, my condolences again, man. Rest in peace, Pops, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was my guy, man. That was my guy,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he left that for me. You know what I mean? So I understand the tediousness, and then when I started to look at it, I was like, man, this is too much for me. But
Yes,
then
sir.
I couldn't let it pass. That's my legacy. You know what I mean? That
That's
I'd be
right.
able to leave
That's
that for
right.
my son. So
That's right.
yeah, man. And for somebody like you, man, that's a great example. And you're around the young fellas all the time. Do y'all have a girl portion of church?
Absolutely, man. We're building it now, though. We're trying to put more resources behind it, and like we've always had an affinity for the girls' game. I've always felt like they've never put the proper resources behind the females. Um, Over the last few years, we've kind of seen it start to bubble a little bit, especially with the late great Kobe Bryant, being a girl dad and all of that kind of stuff. So it started to get a little more notoriety. But I say this, Gordy, man. One thing about me, man, I'm what they call an old soul, man. So as a young kid, I've always paid attention to things that were needed or things that were missing in the community, and I was on it. Like I was there. When you're young, you don't have the resources to get things done, and we came from an era where even if you got ideas, I think our generation was the first group of leaders. We went through school and all of that, but we had that entrepreneurial mindset. So I feel like our
Right.
our generation were like the kind of the leaders of that pack. Um, our parents and all of them, they were off the cusp of our grandparents who would go to work, work these many hours, come home, take care of your family, and that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I
Right.
love them for that. I thank them for that. But they didn't really prepare us for learning how to generate generational wealth, or financial freedom. They because that wasn't what they were
Right.
taught, and they did the absolute best they can, and I thank them for it. So we take those lessons that they raised us with and everything that they instilled in us, and then we were open to this new wave of technology that was approaching, and the Y2G and all that stuff that
Right.
was coming when we was coming through. And we was like, well, why can't we own this? Why can't we do that? Why, we were asking those questions. And so I believe
And
that.
I think we came from the Master P era, from the out the trunk era. You know what I mean? And
Right.
with your Jay Z's and I could do it myself and that entrepreneur spirit you speaking about. And you right, bro. You right. When I think about it, you know what I mean? Like we were go getters. We were go getters, and some of us went different ways to go get it, and some went the right way to go get it. You know what I mean? And either way, we
Right.
didn't care if it was right or wrong. We just really kind of wanted to get the job done. You know what I mean?
That's
And
a
I,
fact.
I, I only asked about the girls because I think it's important. But to bring it back to the boys, you gotta have the strong boys first. You know what I mean? You gotta have that foundation of the boys. You know what I mean? And they could be able to kind of like teach the girls in different aspects of growing up, and so to speak. You know what I
Right.
mean? So and
Right.
I know you're a great coach, man. I like yo this been
Thank you,
written
man.
this been written for you your whole life, bro. I mean, this is your calling, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm just so happy to know you as a friend and have and I'm in the 50 club now, man. I don't think we
Oh,
that
okay.
much further in age. We probably like because I just turned 50 in December,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm in
Yeah,
the club now, bro.
you right behind me. Yep. Yep. I just turned, well, 51 in September. So,
There it is. There it
yep.
is.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yep.
So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. And like I said,
Well,
man, anytime that
you looking good on everybody, baby.
I know, right?
That's it.
I know.
That's it.
I know.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? I try to work out a little something, keep it in there, you know.
I see.
But I had surgery on my elbow, so I ain't get up as many shots as I could. But I'm back in the gym
Okay.
now. I'm
Okay.
back in the gym.
Nice.
Yep.
I got to get back in
Yep.
there too, man. I ain't got no excuse. I'm in the gym. I work in the gym every day, man. I walk past it like, man, I ain't there. But I'm gonna tell you. I'm
But
gonna
you
tell
know
you
what been
what.
working for me, Lance? The treadmill. The treadmill has been doing me wonders. I've been just throwing the recorder on and blogging a little bit, just talking about credit and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It kind of like take my mind off it, and I'm losing a little bit of weight. I had a big gut.
No,
It's
that's
coming
what's up.
down now.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you what's
Yep.
crazy. The one thing about me though is that it's muscle memory. Once I once I go in, I've always been one that once I lock into something, I go. So I
Right.
already know once I go in, it's ball game. I'm gonna get crazy in there. So um, that's all. It just take me to just go in there. And once I start, it's ball game. So, and it's kind of like a gift and a curse because I know I could turn it on like that. If sometimes I'll procrastinate with it, so I'll be like, "Nah, I'll go next week. Nah, I'll
Right.
go next week."
Right.
But I gotta get to it. I gotta get to it.
But I'm gonna end it right there. I'm gonna let you have the last word, man. If you anything that you wanna promote, anything that's coming up, all your social medias, you know what I mean, and yeah,
Okay.
take us out, bro. Take us out.
Okay. Well, we got team triple threat basketball, where we're organizing teams, travel and AAU teams, from ages 6 to 7 up through high school age, 17, 18. We're doing that for boys and girls. I also offer, personal training, for skill development, and for the kids. I'm gonna tell you what I did, Gordy. This space now, man, with sports in general, people have realized that, and I'm not knocking nobody, but people have realized that sports is a multi-billion, multi-trillion-dollar business. So
Right.
everybody and their mother is jumping in this space, even if they're not fluent in it. And so you get a lot of these horror stories about these people, doing crazy things and overcharging people and overpricing people, or moms and dads just wanting their kids to be the star, creating teams. And it's unfortunate because when we came up, in order to play on an AAU team, you really had to be good. Like, it wasn't no, you couldn't
Right.
hide. You had to be good or you didn't make the team. Now we get a kid who's not really that good. He doesn't make a team, so mom and dad goes to create their own team just so their kid could be the star, and it messes up, the natural order of things, man. And it's going on all over the world. It might have been 3 or 4 AAU teams throughout the state when we was coming up. Now
Mm-hmm.
it's about 50 just from your block. In a 4 square block radius, it might be about 10, 15 teams,
Man.
at least. And it's out of control. And you look at people like, the parents and the volunteers, man. I love everybody, man, who helps out in our community, and especially with our kids, our babies, man. But at the end of the day, I'll never take my car to my accountant to fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I'm not going to take my taxes to my mechanic. Like, you still got to
Right.
know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You still got to be in the right lane, and everybody's switching lanes, man. And and our kids are paying for it. That's why the product isn't what it used to be. Whether all the way from the NBA level down, the product ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? And they're supposed to. Everybody talk about how they bigger, stronger, and faster, than we were, on average, but they're not smarter than we were. They don't play the game better than we did. And that's why, you know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother conversation we'll get into another time. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
so we, or, back to, what you originally asked me, offering, boys and girls, academic mentoring in sports, so the sports is easy, but my goal is to teach life skills and mentoring through sports, through something that they love, you know,
Okay.
um,
That's great.
dabbling, a
That's
little bit.
great.
Yeah, man, dabbling a little
And,
bit
I,
of
and
real
I'll just
estate.
add on. And I'll just add on to that. Um, if you want to add another curriculum onto that, where you want to start credit awareness, I'm your guy, Lance. You know what I mean? I've been
No
studying it
doubt.
for 3 years now, and I really just started putting myself out there, trying to help other people, or
Hmm.
help people who really don't know that how they can leverage it. So I'm
Right,
here for you
right.
too, brother. Whenever you want to link up, you know what I mean, with the young men and triple threat. I'm right here. Anytime you need me, bro, you can add that on. I'm already telling you, add that on to the curriculum. And I'm here for you, brother. I'm here for you.
Listen, man, you ain't got to tell me twice, man. Like, who better than my brother? Who I know and I love, man, and I know got a great spirit, a great heart, man, and who's about community, who's about our people. So we're definitely going to link up and connect and put a lot of these programs together because um our people need it. We're so far behind, man, and sometimes when I'm training, like I train all over and I deal with, kids from every walk of life and like when I'm up in the Chathams and the Short Hills and stuff like that, and I'm dealing with those kids. And I remember going to some tournaments and we in the car and I'm ear hustling and I'm listening to the conversations that the 8 and 9 year olds are having. They having
Mm.
conversations about bread. Like they on it. I said, my
Bank account.
high school kids.
Yeah.
I said, my high school kids don't talk like this. And it
Mm.
just showed me just how far behind we were. Like, how our kids are. Like, while our older kids ready to go into college, they talking about TikToking and video games. These kids is talking about stocks, bonds, IRAs, and entrepreneurial, businesses and all kinds of different ventures, man. And I was like, wow, like it's a
Yeah.
huge disparity. And so we have to, raise and uplift our kids, man, and give them that awareness in every field, every aspect. So I'm definitely going to be calling on you, brother, to do something.
I'm here for you. I'm here for you, bro.